Why nobody showed up to Karen Carpenter's funeral is a haunting question that echoes the profound sadness surrounding one of the most tragic losses in music history. Karen, whose voice defined a generation with its melancholic warmth and crystal clarity, died far too young at just 32 years old from heart failure caused by complications related to anorexia nervosa, an illness she battled in silence while masking her pain behind timeless melodies. Her death shocked the world in February 1983, but the quietness of her funeral left even more questions in its wake. How could someone so beloved, so talented, and so admired be laid to rest in such heartbreaking solitude? The truth is far more complex and painful than most fans realize. In the final years of her life, Karen had grown increasingly isolated, not just from the public but also from many within her inner circle. Her struggle with anorexia had alienated those who didn't understand the illness, and at the time, eating disorders were neither widely discussed nor compassionately approached. Many saw her condition as vanity or self-destruction, rather than the deeply rooted psychological illness it truly was. Friends and family often didn't know how to help, and some even unintentionally distanced themselves out of helplessness or frustration. As her health declined, so did the regularity of contact with many former friends, collaborators, and industry peers. She had also endured a turbulent personal life, including a failed marriage that left her emotionally drained. The spotlight that had once celebrated her had dimmed, and she spent her final months battling not only illness but loneliness. When her funeral came, it wasn't a glamorous Hollywood memorial filled with music royalty or teary-eyed industry legends. It was a small, painfully subdued affair held at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Cypress, California. Her service was private and limited to family and very close friends, per the wishes of her brother Richard Carpenter and her grieving parents. The low attendance wasn't because people didn't care, it was because her family had decided to keep the ceremony intimate, perhaps in an effort to shield her from the very public eye that had, in many ways, contributed to her demise. Some reports even suggest that several friends and celebrities wanted to attend but were asked to respect the family's desire for privacy. Still, for fans who idolized her and expected a grand farewell, the silence was deafening. In retrospect, the funeral's quietness tragically mirrored the loneliness Karen often felt in life, idolized by millions yet misunderstood, fighting an invisible war within herself. Despite her fame, despite her success, and despite the love poured into her records by fans across the globe, she left this world in near silence. And while the funeral may have been sparsely attended, the outpouring of grief in the days and years that followed made it clear that Karen Carpenter was never truly alone in the hearts of those who loved her music. Her legacy, whispered in every note of "We've only just begun" or "Close to You," continues to echo louder than any crowd, even if her final goodbye was heartbreakingly quiet.